picking up the wide receivers that were closest to them, and it's just a tough play down the field. So Fresno State comes back out onto the field, lining up in pistol. 2 to the top side of the field, 1 wide receiver down at the bottom. You have a tight end to the far side.
Yeah, and it'll be a fake handoff and a bubble screen out to the far hand side. A missed tackle and a spring forward out to the 40. And I don't know if we have our broadcast live. We'll try to get this one started in just a moment. I believe we're having some technical difficulties here as Kyle takes over as I figure this one out.
Hey, it's week 1 on the field and week 1 up here in the booth as well. Pistol formation again for Fresno City, except this time we have the strong side on the bottom of the field.
It's a quarterback keeper to the forehand side as he tries to cut his way up. A gain of 3 on the play, and it'll be 3rd down and 2.
First time we saw the read option today. That might be part of their game plan as we move forward, especially with the way that they've been trying to run the ball at the beginning with their runs up the middle. The DN's eyes and the linebacker's eyes have to make sure that they know where the ball is going.
And it looks like our stream is up and running. Pardon me to all the viewers that missed the action at the beginning of the game. Fresno City College got the ball on the 46-yard line to start the possession as they threw a deep ball down the middle of the field to get it going to start. And we finally got things up and running here as we're set to roll. A full backfield here out of the pistol look, and this is an interesting look as it's a handoff. And the fullback dive will get a gain of 5 yards and get the first down here close to midfield from the 46.
Yeah, and you know when the fullback gets a chance to get the ball, he's going to be running hard. He ran into that line probably with a smile on his face since he had the ball and was looking for contact. He got hit around the first down marker and kept those legs turning for an extra 3 or 4.
As a former fullback, I'll tell you, yes. When you get the ball and you're not having to go out there and block, that is your best moment of your life.
Absolutely.
And this offense has looked pretty good to start. They've got a nice little deep pass to start the game, and the running game has been going pretty well. 3-3-3, and then you'll go for it every time on 4th down and 1, right?
Absolutely.
Jet motion across the formation, and it'll be a handoff left-hand side, and the Vikings cavalry was there this time around. Nowhere to go for Ashton Calabian, and the Vikings will only give up a yard there as they give him forward progress out to the 48-yard line. We'll get our scoreboard fixed up in a moment, but right now it is 6-0 for Fresno City College. They scored on the opening possession, and they had the PAT blocked. 3 receivers to the near side of the field, and it's a handoff one more time over to Calabian as he pushes his way on the outside. A missed tackle in the backfield, and he was laid out by Anthony Henry at the end of the play, but he does pick up an additional 8 yards, making it a 3rd down and 1 if they don't give it to him. I think they might say he got there. Nope, the ball will be spotted a yard shy of the first down now.
The ref has him short, and I think that's a little bit of an unfavorable spot because he might have got hit at that spot, but the safety came and cleaned everybody out, and I think he landed on the other side.
I think you hit the nail on the head there as Henry hit the nail on the head of Calabian. 3rd and 2, tight end off the right-hand side with the up back as well. Pistol look with the 2 receivers down to the near side of the field. From the 4 hash mark, clapping for the ball, jumping, and it's a handoff right side. Finds the sliver of space between the defensive tackles, and he brings his way forward for a 1st down gain. Amarion Game Smith comes back into the game and moves the chains.
And DVC is trying to rotate their linemen, keep them fresh on the defensive side. It's hot out here. It's week 1. Got to try to keep everybody as fresh as possible here at the start.
And the 1st down and 10 from the Vikings 38-yard line as they drive right to left. Up back off the left side, and it's a free play here. The Vikings jump offside, going deep down the field. McCarrion fires away and overthrows everything. The ball did get to Najee Cox as he ran another go out down the sideline. He looked like Jimmy G pointing down the field. Raiders fans and 49er fans can definitely imagine that in their head.
Well, we'll say it looked more like Brett Favre pointing down the field with the Jimmy G throw.
Fair enough. I mean, it is a free play, so you can't hunt him on that.
Absolutely. No, you got to take your chance on that. You get the line to jump off sides. You got to take your shot. You'd like to see giving your wide receiver a chance in the field to play, but it was a good thought.
And once again, there is 5:39 counting down here in the first quarter of play. In this opening quarter of 3C2A football, we'll get the scoreboard fixed up at the break. Tight end off the right-hand side. That's another pistol look once more. It's been working. They're going to keep to it. First down and 5. Handoff over to Gaines Smith. Gaines Smith runs over defender, but he gets cleaned up, stays on his feet somehow. And his forward progress will bring him down for a gain of 3.5 on the play. And that's something we talked about with the coaches before this game. The running game is going to be the number one thing you have to look out for this team. They have physical backs, and they've got a plethora of them.
Yeah, and you can see how each running back comes in. They're fresh. They're ready to get the ball. They're ready to lower their pads and really try to assert their dominance here against DVC's front 7 early.
Tight end will line up on the right-hand side. That's Veltre Jefferson, the best player on the team potentially. And we haven't seen him in the action so far. He's just been blocking up to this point. Vikings look like they'll send the pressure for the nickel. They do so. All-out pressure. The ball was thrown underneath, and that was thrown into the feet of Saphir Stills Bay. And that is what you expect to see from DVC. Heavy pressure, man-to-man coverage, and making the quarterbacks pay.
Yeah, that was the first time you saw a cover 0 blitz today. The quarterback did not really look for a hot route. He tried to go deep on it, and if that ball's not out early on a cover 0, that's going to be the result.
Yeah, you have to recognize that immediately and have your crossing routes ready to go. But it'll be 3rd down and 1 here from the 31-yard line. Vikings showing a 4-man front against the true receiver to the top. Look out of the shotgun. Another blitz here. The hot route thrown across the middle of the field, and the ball was broken up. This time around, I mean, a good job reading it by Ryan Markarian, but I mean, his receiver just didn't get open. Tight coverage across the board, and the defensive back definitely gets his flowers for that one.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, the cat and mouse game that we're seeing early here against the coordinators. DVC wasn't blitzing a lot at the beginning. They get to 2nd and short, start bringing the pressure, and it's been working so far.
And so now the Vikings will line up in a mug look here, facing a pistol. And possibly a run here as Gaines Smith is in the backfield. The running game has gone well. And a timeout taken by Fresno City College here. So I'll have to run out here without a scoreboard as we wait for things to get fixed up here. Some technical difficulties here on week 1. And on the other side of this timeout, we'll see a shotgun look here and a handoff over to Gaines Smith. Plenty of space as he springs free out to the 10, out to the 5. A second touchdown for Fresno City College here in the first quarter of play. This one comes at the 4:42 mark as Marion Gaines Smith sprints through. He needed 2 for the first down, and he took 6 instead.
Yeah, and DVC just got caught. They brought the pressure again, and the pressure is good against the run as long as you still fill your gaps. They ran to the weak side this time, which they've been running to the strong side a lot. The blitz came from the strong side, and the safety in the back wasn't able to fill a gap or follow the ball.
Yeah, and you live and die by the blitz in some situations, and when you're blitzing, you're essentially gambling by setting so many men down there, and then you get a little ahead of yourself. You start to lose your composure there. A few gap miss assignments here on week 1. and that will result in 6-4 Fresno City College here.
Yeah, when you bring an all-out blitz like they've been doing these last couple plays, gap control is so important to be able to, one, win your
Second possession for Fresno City College. They march down the field, convert on a 4th and 2, and score a touchdown on the play as well. And it looks like they're going to chase the points early. Fresno City College took the timeout to send out Ryan McCarrion. It's a McCarrion alongside Calabian. Come out in the pistol look, tied in off the left-hand side. McCarrion claps over the ball. Handoff right side. Nope. It's a quarterback. No, it is a handoff. And the ball will be popped out at the end of the play. Another opportunity to return it as the knee touches down. It was Santino Acevedo able to get the ball after it popped out. So for the second time, a score, but nothing to do on the extra point.
Yeah, and DVC is making that extra point or 2-point conversion difficult each time they've ended up with the ball in their hands at the end of it.
I mean, you got positives and you got some negatives, and you got a 12-point deficit here. It's still very early on in the game for the Vikings, but it'll be they'll be down by 2 possessions here at the 4:42 mark.
Yeah, and that's the thing about week 1 that you see at every level. Players get so excited to come out, finally hit some other team rather than themselves week after week. And the start of the game, emotions are high, they're ready to go. This game's going to lull out a little bit, and you're going to see both teams kind of settle in, and hopefully DVC catches some deep balls here.
Yeah, as the kickoff goes right to left one more, as Johnny Enriquez, end over end kick, that'll be fielded this time around, and this one goes to Amari Taylor as he veers near hand side, bounces off of one tackler, jump cut inside out to the 20, out to the 25-yard line, finds the sideline out to the 40, and a terrific pickup of 38 on the return, and that is why Coach Collins was so high on that guy. Amari Taylor, man, a freak athlete.
Yeah, he had about 3 moves in about a 5-yard span, making Fresno City kickoff team miss tackles, be able to get it to the outside and get down the sideline.
So the ball will be popped out as he steps out of bounds at the 37, but that electric play is enough to spark your team. So let's see if the Vikings can find some success here. The running game was working okay against this 4-man line. And let's see if the passing game by Brewers will continue alongside with it. Oh, and another false start on the Vikings here, as it's Charlie Kruger, the left guard out of Las Lomas High School.
Yeah, that's exactly what you don't want to do after a great return. You get a little spark, the sidelines start getting excited again, and now you got to start your drive, 1st and 15, down 12.
So it's a 1st and 15 from the 32-yard line near hash mark. And the Vikings will come out on that pistol spread once more. This time around, it's Sean Davis in the backfield alongside Burres. Snap is off, play action fake, throws it across the middle on the slant, caught by Piero, and Piero's going to spring his way forward to the 49-yard line. And an extra hit at the end of the play. I don't see any flags, though.
Far side at the line.
Oh, the flag is thrown behind the line of scrimmage. Maybe an illegal procedure on the Vikings here.
Legal formation.
Oh, and it is an illegal formation, I believe. They got a little confused with how many men you need on the line of scrimmage, and these are the mistakes that you cannot have. I get it. It's early on in the season, but you're facing a deficit, and now you're facing a 1st down and 20.
Yeah, but those are those week 1 mistakes that we're talking about that should be ironed out week 2, week 3, week 4. But unfortunately, it's things that we will see week 1. It just is something that happens.
The Vikings did play a scrimmage on this field about a week ago. They did a very good job. It was kind of similar trending to here. They had a little bit of a hiccup on both sides of the ball to start, and then the offense started to find their groove, so maybe the same will happen today. Handoff over to Sean Davis as Sean Davis works between guard and tackle. And in all measures of things, I mean, a nice pickup of 5 yards to start at the drive, but when you're first down and 20, I mean, it's a hard situation to be in.
It is. Really, you're just trying to play for a third down and manageable here. Hopefully another 5 to 10 yard gain here and just try to get yourself set up where you don't have another 3rd and long.
So now it's 2nd down and 14 officially from the 33-yard line, 3:17 counting down. They'll line up in the pistol, and both teams seem to be heavily relying on this formation. Handoff, nope, it's another slant across, and it's Piero once again, runs the slant and does make it 3rd down and manageable as he springs his way forward for a gain of 13 on the play, making it 3rd down and 1. And I mean, I'm taking that RPO throw every single time if Piero's that guy. He's just running that quick slant across the middle of the field, and the defense has not been able to adjust to it these last 2 times.
Yeah, and the defense isn't able to get to it because they're moving their outside linebacker to cover up the slot receiver on the weak side, and the safety just isn't able to get to the slant in time.
And now Bura is barking his calls here from the 46-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 1 from the 45-yard line. 2:50 remaining here in this first quarter of play. Potential pressure coming off the side. It's going to be a quick out route. Hops up high to get the ball, and a terrific catch for the 1st down. That's David Piero once again.
Yeah, I think DVC has found something in their pass game where they've noticed Fresno State is doing a really good job trying to disguise their cover 1 and what safety is going to be the one dropping back, but they've been going too wide on each side, which has really forced Fresno State to show early who's going to be the one dropping back.
And I mean, it was decent coverage on the play. The quarterback just threw it to a spot where Piero was the only one who could get it, and he did so on the quick out. Piero motions across the formation here, hurries up with 5 seconds left on the play clock. Snap is off, and it's a sprint over to the right-hand side. The zone as he runs into his right tackle. Sean Davis brought down for no gain on the play. The right tackle, Eric Asvit, was just in no man's land here, as I believe it was actually 59. That's Gage Ida, the freshman out of Pinole Valley. He was just kind of left in no man's land, and his running back ran right into his backside.
Yeah, and let's see if DVC goes back to spreading them out. They found some going strong side on the near side again. 2 tight end set.
We'll get our audio and everything fixed up in a moment. Sorry, guys, it's week 1. We're trying to get our production ready to rock and roll. Pass out in the flats, and it's a quarterback keeper. He throws it over to Piero as Piero spins his way down to the 45-yard line. And it's 3rd down and 5 now. We got 1 minute and 30 seconds here before the quarter break, and we'll try to get things fixed and ready to go. So a 3rd down and 5. 20 seconds left on the play clock as it counts down here, and the Vikings sprint. Urez trying to get the hard count to get the free 1st down. And now motioning out a little wider is Piero. Chest high snap, throws out into the quick flat once more, and tackled down after only a gain of 4.
Yeah, that out route and that slant are going to be there majority of the day unless Fresno City makes an adjustment on defense.
So they gave him the 1st down. I thought it was going to be a little bit short, so it's Stephen Henry II, the sophomore out of San Leandro, who picks up the 1st. And those are the situations that you need to really just go up and handle because, I mean, you got to know the situation. You got to know you need 5 yards, and you got to run your out route to the 6-yard mark.
Yeah, absolutely. I hate it when it's 5 yards and they run it at 4.
Tadding off the left-hand side of the pistol to motion him over the right side. It's Bittner in the motion. Turnaround handoff. Bounces away outside of Sean Davis as he jump cuts his way inside down to the 33-yard line after he picks up a gain of 7. 17 seconds left in this first quarter of play.
17 seconds remaining.
Three receivers to the far hand side. Lone receiver on the bottom will be Piero. Uras will push Sean Davis over to his right hip now. And another false start on the Vikings will make it 2nd down and 9. That'll be the 2nd of the day on Charlie Kruger. You just got the hiccups early on in this game. 2 false starts is, I mean, it's unacceptable even for week 1, right?
Yeah, especially this early. Both coming on the same drive. DVC's offense finally started getting some momentum, getting into manageable yards early in the drive, and penalties will kill you.
And the horn isn't working. It's week 1 for everybody here, but it's a 12-0 lead for Fresno City College here. After the first 15 minutes of play, they score on both their possessions here in the opening quarter here on DVC Vikings Live. All right, I'm not sure we should have any audio delays, but it's a handoff over the right-hand side, springing free out to the 20-yard line as he's tackled down from there. An electric play to start the 2nd quarter for the Vikings here, and it's 10 on the carry. That's Ferrari Miller coming back into the game.
And that's how you pick up your teammate right there. False start on 2nd and short, come back and hit a good 15-yard gain.
That'll move the chains there on 2nd down and long. It'll be a 1st down and 10 right outside of the red zone, and I believe the ball was actually marked down at the 19-yard line. They're calling at the 18, and 14:33 counting down out of the pistol. Look, the Vikings are in the red zone for the first time today. 3 receivers to the near-hand side. It's another handoff left side, and Ferrari, man, just roaring that engine as he continues to churn his way forward. What was a 3-yard run in the first opening drive has turned into a 5-yard run, and you'll continue to see it bounce forward more and more as this season or as this series goes on.
Yeah, and I really like it when DVC spreads out Fresno City. I think they've found something here on this drive in doing so, getting away from the multiple tight end formations and getting them spread out. They're starting to find holes in the line and winning those matchups up front.
These are the adjustments you make throughout the game, right?
Absolutely.
And just as you say that, they line up in a double tight end set. Sprint out left. Eyes down the middle of the field. Throws it in the flats, and it's caught. Piero goes in for the touchdown. A 14-yard pass as Piero gets the first 6 points of the year for the Vikings here. 13:37 remaining here in the 2nd quarter of play.
Yeah, and they ran a little pick rub. We won't call it a pick route anymore, but a little rub route at the bottom of the screen of the field, and was able to get that out route matched up with the slant and get the out route open. DVC's extra point gets blocked as well, so we've had 3 extra point or 2-point conversion attempts. Both teams combined for 0 for 3 to start the game, but that's week 1.
Yeah, special teams in week 1, that's just kind of how it goes, right?
Absolutely.
The blazing heat is causing them to have some difficulties as well. So we'll take another timeout here on DVC Vikings Live. Yeah, it's good. The guy was tripping. Okay. Oh, and we're back already. We are all figuring things out here on week 1. We're trying to implement many different things, getting a replay camera going on. But in the process, we've lost our scoreboard camera, so we're going to have to rely on our call here. As it's 12-6, both teams missing all the PATs. Kicking it right to left. It's Valcaro, and it's going to be a short kick that's fielded down to the 9-yard line. Taken down the far sideline, cuts it up between the numbers. A flag comes in at the end of the play as it's a terrific return out to the 38-yard line. And I believe that was number 11, Ramon Ruiz on the carry.
For DVC, I think it's a really important part of the game. If they can get a stop, get that offense back on the field early, keep the Fresno City College defense tired. They're over there trying to catch their breath. Again, it's hot, week 1. Conditioning isn't all there for everybody quite yet. So if DVC's defense can stand strong here, get off the field early, that would be a good sign for DVC.
A holding call called on the field by one of the kickoff men. So the ball will come down, and it'll be spotted at the 20-yard line as the penalty goes against Fresno City College. Tied in off the left-hand side. And the motion up back his way as well. A handoff up the middle, and a switching quarterback. We'll get to that in just a moment as the running back has nowhere to really go. Only a gain of 2 on the play as the defensive line is trying to tighten up and not allow anything here. 2nd down and 9. So Yajae Vance has come into the game, the redshirt quarterback from Edison High School, redshirted last year at Minot State. He's a nice dual threat back, so possibly see a lot more of the read action in going by his legs. Omarion Gaines-Smith is the running back behind him, dotting out the pistol. 5-man front for the Vikings here, 2 high safeties. Handoff on the stretch. A little shimmy and a wiggle and a push out to the 28-yard line as Gaines-Smith gets a gain of 6 on the play, making a 3rd down and 1. So it'll be 3rd down and 2 officially, so gain of 5 on the carry there. But, I mean, it's the running game on both sides that's really getting the offense going. The passing is a little bit of a supplementary aspect, but the running game has really been the bread and butter of both these teams so far. 3 receivers on the trips. Look to the near-hand side, and it'll be 3rd down and 2 from the 28. Chest high snap, sprints out to the right-hand side. Eyes are down the field, throws it, and it's off the hands of a DVC defender, batted off the hands into the hands of Marquise Cropper as he drops the ball at the end of the play. So the Vikings will force a punt for the first time today. And it looks like maybe they keep the offense on the field. Possibly a 3rd timeout taken by Fresno City College here as they discuss.
The entire time, was able to break back because originally his responsibility was the flat. It was also a case of Fresno City College's quarterback maybe trying to do a little too much there. He had the flat out there open, be able to get the 1st down, move the chains. Instead, he tried to pick up a little bigger chunk of yards with the out route.
Yeah, in that situation, it's a low to high read. Your low man is open. You got to take him every time, especially when it's for a 1st down. And the punter today will be Dean Shiver, as it's a high, winding punt. And it'll be caught at the 30-yard line, bounces off the tackle, going out to the far sideline, continues to stay on his feet out to the 50, and he's finally tripped up. A terrific return on the play by Omari Taylor. And, I mean, honestly, 2 of the most electric plays we've seen today for the Vikings have been the way of Taylor. Returning kicks, returning punts. Omari Taylor is a threat.
Yeah, he's starting to become a WOP, weapon of choice over there, where you just need to get him the football out in the open, let him operate, and get the ball in his hands and let him do what he does.
And so we've seen 2 different backs so far as Ferrari comes back onto the field for the Vikings. But I want to see what he can do on offense if he's this electric on special teams.
Absolutely. Swing routes, bubble screens, something like that, where he can just get the ball in his hands early and do what he does from there.
But Ferrari has had a successful successful stint so far in this game, as it's now first down in positive territory as the Vikings will hand it off over to Ferrari, showing some patience, squeezes through the gap, and he's finally tackled down after a gain of 5 on the play. Man, a shoestring tackle away from getting a huge first down, as the tackle was made by Alex Valencia, the linebacker out of Hollister.
And that's a luxury DVC has right now, because you see what the kick returner has been doing, and then Ferrari comes in and he's just been picking up 5-6 yards a pop ever since those first possession.
Yeah, play to your strengths, and the strengths of this team are the running backs and offensive line. The motion, the up back over to the right slot. Plenty of time to throw, a drop pass underneath, and it's Piero with another pickup for a first down. Ball was caught. It was a nice little 5-yard hitch, and it's another first down for the Vikes here. First down and 10 now from the 37 as the Vikings offense has found their groove. And that is a good sign to see. Burras was standing there in the pocket. I mean, he didn't even have to move. He didn't need to climb. He didn't need to do anything. The offensive line covered it up. They blotted out the sun from their cornerback. 3 receivers in the pistol. Lone receiver at the bottom is Piero. Snap is off. It's a stretch to Ferrari once more. The cutback out to the 30, and Ferrari continues to roll his way forward to the 30-yard line on a gain of 7.
And this is what DVC wants to do: run the ball early, get into manageable second down situations, third down situations, and when you're running the ball this successfully, when you have second and third, maybe a little shot play opportunities start to become an option.
Yeah, second down and short, you want to start taking your options, especially if you're picking up 5 a carry. 12-6 the score here as Fresno City College leads the Vikings here. 10 minutes remaining in the second quarter of play. Another quick out route. Piero was lit up at the end of the play, but another gain for a first down.
And early, Piero's become the kind of safety blanket for the quarterback here. He's looking for him on out routes over the middle of the field. Piero's doing a good job of holding on to everything, and when he's able to, create after the catch as well.
And Jordan Black did make the tackle, so he did a good job in that situation. But, I mean, you're never going to starve by taking a positive play. I mean, it looks like me. When I play CFB 25, man, that's all I do. Quick outs on a zone. You get a bubble on one side. I mean, I'll take 5 every single time if I can get it. Quick throw out to the forehand side. It's the out route once again, and the Vikings will pass it this time around to Amani Efidel.
That's spoken like a fullback right there. I want to throw the ball deep.
And that's spoken like a quarterback there. You don't go broke taking a profit, Kyle.
Absolutely. No, you don't. You also don't really hit the riches either.
Hey, if you hit pay dirt, you'll take it every single time, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And the clock continues to wind down here. 8:42 counting down here in the second quarter of play. 12 Fresno City College, 6 DVC. Opening 2 possessions for Fresno City College resulted in touchdowns, and the Vikings scored in the last one, looking to do so again. A late blitz across, and the ball was popped out. I believe it might be a fumble, as Burras will have fumbled it. Yes. The slot sent the blitz off the edge. Burras tried to throw the ball away, but I believe the hand of the defensive back on the blitz came in at the end of the play and knocks that one away. Fumble recovered by Fresno City College, so the Vikings will turn it over for the second time today.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate break for DVC. They were doing such a good job of moving the ball downfield. Another extended possession, really getting that Fresno City defense tired, especially after that last possession as well. Those are the type of possessions that can swing the game in your favor and make a lasting impression.
So the quarterback will still be Vance, as Vance will hand the ball up over to Calabian, as Calabian continues to fight his way forward for a nice little pickup on the play. The ball will be brought out for a gain of 7. And it's actually 35 on the carry, which will be Andrew Chavez. And it's the outside linebacker, Marley Alpati, on the tackle on the play. Heavy set on the strong side, up, back, and tight, and off the right-hand side from the far hash mark, working left to right. It's Vance once more. Vance play action fake across the middle. It's thrown. Henry tackles down the receiver after a nice pickup on the play, and it's Najee Cox running the post route as he catches it down to the 40 and picks up the first down into the Viking side of the field.
Yeah, Najee Cox right there, I think got a little lucky that we're not in D1 football or anything with replay available to the refs, because that might have been a helmet-to-helmet contact. If that was available.
Henry definitely wanted to lay a huge hit there, and he did so.
He's been this whole game. He's going in there with a reckless abandon every time he can and really making these Fresno City players think twice.
Play action fake. Looking down the middle of the field, thrown into double coverage, and it's brought in at the 2-yard line. Ramon Ruiz catches the ball down to the 2 on a terrific post route. And both these quarterbacks have really found their groove with the deep ball early on, Markarian and Vance.
And that was a great job by the wide receiver right there, keeping that post skinny. If he broke it off too much, then the safety up top would have been able to get there and make a play on it. He kept it skinny, stayed in the seam, and the quarterback did a great job reading what he was seeing as well and made a great catch.
Shotgun look here as Chavez is still in the backfield. Jet sweep motion. They will hand it off in the jet sweep. And, a terrific tackle made, only a gain of 1, as it was Marley Alapati coming up to make another tackle on this drive. Second down and goal from the 4-yard line. It's 12-6 as Fresno City College is looking to try to score after having to punt it away last time around. 6:15 counting down here. Ruiz checks out. In comes a big body here, and that'll be the tight end, Jack Kirby.
Ooh, full house.
Full house setup. They handed it off to the fullback last time around. Let's see what they do in this full house pistol. Somebody's been watching that UNLV playbook here, and it's a handoff over to the big back. Lowers the shoulder, and Chavez is in. Touchdown, Fresno City College. 18-6 the score here at the 5:50 mark.
And again, once those fullbacks get the ball and they see the goal line, he put his pads down and there wasn't going to be much stopping him before he got there.
And they'll line up, and let's see if they're able to get the PAT this time around. They missed 2 PATs and missed 1 2-point conversion. Johnny Enriquez, as Calabian, the holder, lines up. Snap is off, hold is down, kick is up. And the first time today, no, I thought it went through, but it went wide left. Another missed PAT. The field is 0 for 4 for extra points at this point. Wow. I don't know what's going on. I think it's the it's the week 1 boogies, huh?
Yeah, I hope somebody hit the plus 200 on missed extra points.
We do not condone betting here, but yes.
Please bet responsibly.
And after that, the Vikings give it up off a fumble from the arm of Burres. And Fresno City College points on the turnover. So they're plus 12 in that margin now. 6', 195 running back is Chavez, by the way, so a big body. Two receivers deep to return it. And let's see if the Vikings can get some lightning in a bottle caught once more. They've done a good job in the opening quarter. High line drive kick, and this one will go all the way into the end zone. Bouncing 7 yards deep in the end zone, and the Vikings offense will come back on the field after turning it over off a fumble to the 25-yard line.
So you have 5:50 left in the first half, which is plenty of time for this DVC offense to go down the field, especially the way they've been operating, taking the yards as they come. They should be able to get down the field with plenty of time, which is important because if they can score at the end of this drive, get that deficit back down to a 1-possession game before going into half, make your adjustments, you're still well within striking distance to come out on top in the second.
Oh, absolutely. It's only a 12-point game as the extra points have made it a little strange. And it'll be a RPO thrown across the middle. It's Piero on the slant route once more. And the ball will be brought up for a gain of 10 on the play for another first down. We do not have stats right now. We'll try to get you caught up as well as fix a lot of these technical difficulties that we're having. But, I mean, he's been the star of the game, absolutely. David Piero has proved his weight in gold.
Piero's really been impressing me this game, especially that's about his second or third catch where he's had to contort his body midair to be able to come down with it. And he's been able to each time, which has been really needed for this DVC defense or DVC offense.
Yeah, so a guy that's torn both ACLs before, he's still an explosive athlete, and you love to see that. Missed last year with a tear. A rush. Ferrari spins out of the first tackler, but he backs his way for another additional gain, and he only gets 1.5 yards on the carry. Nice job filling the gap by the defense of the Rams. I believe that was Keanu Kuma coming from his middle linebacker position to make the tackle. Pardon me. It is 21 who made the tackle. Or Kyle, who was
12.
it? 12. Okay. So it was Noah Taylor coming to make the tackle. He made a nice stop, or a nice tackle on the previous drive. Offset back. Spread look for Burras once more. 3-step drop. Burras time to throw. Stands tall in the pocket. Fires too tall. And that ball looked, it was tossed in between two players. You had the low man open in Jake Cagnano, and then you had your other receiver over the top in Cam Hawkins, and that ball was just kind of thrown in between. But I think a roughing the passer call against Fresno will give the Vikings a first.
Yeah, it was hard to tell if he overthrew or underthrew because they were both open.
Maybe that's just a miscommunication, and he thought a different play was called in that situation.
Yeah, I think if I were to guess, I think he overthrew the in route over the middle. That seemed to be the closest one. Not a lot of air under the ball.
So another pistol spread look for the Vikings here as Burras comes out from the near hash mark 48-yard line. Ferrari is still in the backfield here, and he'll shift off the left hip now. Handoff. Ferrari gets the keeper right-hand side. And he'll spring after the first tackle and gets an additional 2 yards after the initial contact there. 4-yard gain on the play. Jack Kessler making the tackle there.
Yep, and if you're DVC, they're doing a great job of managing the clock right now. You don't want to go too fast. You don't want to try to get too cute with the clock and put yourself in a bad position at the end, but you definitely want to bleed it so either you get the points and they don't have enough time to go down the field, or you have to punt or something like that, leave them with as little time as possible.
18-6 the score here as the Vikings trail. 3:40 remaining here, working right to left in the second quarter. Chest high snap, looks down the forehand side, fires away, and it's underthrown. Trying to hook up with David Piero again. The deep ball hasn't necessarily been working for the Vikings here as they try to throw that little post corner flag route.
Yeah, in Fresno City, their outside corners have done a really good job locking down DVC from doing anything down the field.
Yeah, and I think I want to see a little more comfortable, Teddy Burras a little more comfortable in the situation. He played in a similar offense last year at City College of San Francisco, and I want to read the keys on, if you see it's man-to-man all the way through, you got to understand the shading and what the wide receiver is able to get to instead of trying to force some routes here. Another snap. Whips across the middle. It's caught once again by Piero. Piero's open out to the 30-yard line, the 25-yard, finds the sideline, tackle down at the 15. Piero with a huge pickup and 2 flags coming at the end of the play.
Yeah, and that was Jordan Brown, the tight end for DVC, just getting after it a little too much during the play, and even after the play ended up laying out the cornerback for Fresno City, which draws the foul, or the penalty, I should say, which is unfortunate after such an explosive play. DVC's offense should really just be getting it to number 3 and letting him work right now.
Yeah. What was the old saying? At the end of the day, sometimes you got to go to the Johnnies and Joes rather than the X's and O's.
Absolutely. It's all about the Billies and Joes.
Billies and Joes, there you go. And these are just plays of an undisciplined team, and that's one thing that we know the Vikings are not. I mean, they're showing that they are right now, but I can tell you the philosophy preached by Coach Collins throughout the year and everything And
Maybe
it looks
we
like the
got
chains will move. I think you might be a
offsetting
little
penalties. I think offsetting penalties.
off. There were 2 fouls on the play.
Well, after the play, offsetting penalties, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think you hit the nail on the head once again, Cal. All those plays happen after the play, so once again, you don't necessarily want to be in the position where you're having to rely on offsetting penalties, but that one doesn't at least dig you back, and the positive play continues to stand as Piero continues to rack up the yak. Calcagno will check out. And the Vikings will come out facing a 1st down and 10 here from the 15-yard line. Out of the shotgun look, Buraz and Ferrari in the backfield. Quick pass to the forehand side, has a wide receiver there, and the flood screen finds a way to break free out to the 10-yard line, and he tight ropes the sideline in for the touchdown. Cade Young, the sophomore receiver, comes in after Calcagno checks out. And I mean, run a play to your fresh guy. He'll break off a tackle and make a play. 18-12 the score here at the 3:15-minute mark in the 2nd quarter of play.
Yeah, and that was the first time we saw them go to that little bubble screen, flood screen type pass. When they've been running the trips, they've normally been trying to run rub routes, things like that. They switched it up on Fresno City a little bit, and he did a great job once he got the ball in his hands, evading tacklers and getting into the end zone.
And the Vikings trying to get the extra point this time around. Buraz the holder. Snap is off, hold us down, kick is up, and it's good. We got our first extra point of the game. 18-13 our score with 3:15 remaining here in the 2nd quarter of play as we take the timeout here on DVC Vikings Live. Bring it back. 3:15 remaining here in the 2nd quarter play. We'll try to fix as many technical difficulties as we can at the halftime break. It is week 1. This is the first 3C2A football game live on air, so please bear with us as we try to address things in our understaffed booth. Love you so much for joining us. 18-13 the score at the 3:15 mark here, and the Vikings ready to boot it away right to left. Michael Vocaro holds up his right hand as he will be kicking it away to the deep men. Booming side-to-side kick will be fielded down at the 3-yard line. Taken away to the near-hand side. A defender slips and a jump cut inside, opens up some space out to the 40. A tackle missed and a shoestring tackle made past midfield. The safety valve at the end of the play was number 19 for the Vikings. That was Donovan Ferguson. And man, special teams have been electric today on both sides.
Absolutely. Fresno City sets up their offense wonderfully to try to put points up here again at the end of the half. Try to extend this lead back to a 2-possession game.
So it'll be 1st down and 10 inside of positive territory once more. 3:05 remaining here in the 2nd quarter of play. 18-13 is the lead. And the quarterback will remain to be Yaje Vance. Vance claps for the ball. That's a handoff up the middle, and a wall run into. The brick house was laid by the Vikings here, and only a gain of 1 on the play. It was Marley Alapazzi coming to fill the hole. A gain of 2 by Amarion Gaines-Smith. So Veltre Jefferson will check out. In comes number 83, Couch for Fresno. Three-step drop, looking down the middle of the field. Has to roll out to his right-hand side. Points down the middle of the field as he's going to run the ball out to the 40-yard line. He steps out of bounds after a pickup of 8 on the play. And that is part of the game plan that you got to watch out for Jay Vance. He is an electric dual-threat runner. And coverage over the top was good, but you got to contain the quarterback. He's always the guy that's left unaccounted for.
Yeah, that was a great job there by the quarterback. Didn't see anything downfield, didn't try to force anything, got outside the pocket, told his wide receiver, hey, pick up this block for me, and was able to get out of bounds.
Yeah, with 2 minutes remaining here, and for the first time in this 3C2A season, we will have the 2 minute. And on the other side of the 2 minute timeout, we're still getting our cadence and our frequencies on the same matching point. Pardon the extra early little timeout there. But a Tynum will line up off the left-hand side. It's Couch once more, and the quarterback Vance, who has had a very successful couple of drives here for Fresno City College, will line up as the shadows start to take the field here as the sun comes down on the Diablo Valley. 18-13 our score here, working left to right on your YouTube progress bar. The ball will be brought out to the 37-yard line of the Vikings. A three-step drop, looks down the middle of the field, fires away, has his man open out to the 20-yard line, slips and falls as Najee Cox, the 6'5" receiver out of Fresno, with another nice route. One of the knocks on Cox coming into this game was that, I mean, last year he just showed inconsistent hands, but to be honest, you can't complain about that so far today. Cox has been open and available and has picked up every single ball thrown his direction. Gain Smith in the backfield with a heavy set. No motion the tight end to the left up back spot. Clapping for the ball from the near hash mark. Looks down the sideline, throws across the middle of the field. Brought in for another touchdown. It's Najee Cox beating the defender on the play. That was Anton Monroe, but a flag. And let's see what that flag is going to be.
Yeah, that flag's going to be pass interference on the defense because Cox absolutely destroyed the cornerback at the top of the route, and he just tried to hold on to him to save the touchdown, and even that didn't help.
And you are absolutely correct there. The Vikings give up the skinny post once more, and that route has been magical for Fresno City as they've scored in it 2 consecutive drives, or not 2 consecutive drives, but 2 drives so far.
And that was great play calling by Fresno City too. The route before, Cox looked like he was going to run a skinny post like he just did. Instead, on the last one, he broke it off, ended up running an out route about 15 yards down the field. That time, he got to the top of his route and exploded and ended up running the little skinny post, and the cornerback got caught a little flat-footed.
And so they will send out Najee Cox to line up, and they'll go for it. 24-13, down 11. They're going to try to push it up to 13. 1:33 remaining. The handoff, right-hand side, nowhere to go. The Vikings continue the clean sweep across the board. Vikings stopping the run up the gut as Amarion Gaines-Smith hasn't had much luck there. They've had luck going on the outside zone, but the inside zone, I mean, The big boys inside for the Vikings have done their job here. And still 24-13. It's an 11-point game here, and the Vikings have 133 to work with. And now we're going to have to see what the Vikings have in store with Burras here. The running game has been successful. A few nice little crossing routes across the middle for Burras. But now let's see his arm to the sidelines, as the Vikings are going to need to save as much time as possible. Special teams have been, I mean, the best part of the game essentially for both teams.
Yeah, and if DVC can find a way to put points at the end of the half here, they might get a situation where they have the ball down, and the next time their defense comes on the field, they can have a lead because they're going to start with the ball at the second half.
Absolutely. It's so crucial to score in this position here. And you have a sophomore who's had a year under his belt. Let's see if something can happen. Johnny Enriquez ready to boot it left to right. The two deep men for the Vikings, Sean Davis and Omari Taylor. He's kicked the ball into the end zone a couple different times, and this one might have an opportunity, but no, it touches down about 5 yards into the end zone, so the Vikings offense will be sent out to the 20. So, Cal, were you able to watch the NFL game last night with the Ravens and the Chiefs?
I was only able to watch a little bit. I had adult softball I had to attend. Had to hit some dingers against some 50-year-olds.
Did you see any of the kickoffs by any chance?
I did not. The most I saw of it was the last 2 plays of the game.
Okay, well, something interesting. Obviously, it's a different kick game in the college game compared to the NFL game. But the Chiefs were doing something that was very interesting. They were kicking it out into a touchback to get the ball out to the 30-yard line. And I think that's a nice little adjustment that I want to talk to you maybe off air about, because I think it's an interesting little fold. Calling for the ball, chest high snap, throws it to the out route, trying to fight his way outside. And that was David Pierre on the reception once more. And let's see if he was able to get out of bounds or if he was pushed out of bounds backwards. The clock continues to stop, where I think it actually should be running.
That's called a home team advantage right there.
And the clock runs after a couple different seconds tip off. 3 receivers to the far hand side. Burras steps up in the pocket, double clutches, throws in. It's almost intercepted. It was right off the hands of the middle linebacker, Keanu Kuma. Kuma had an interception against the Vikings last year, and Burras just did not see him drop back into that zone coverage in the middle of the field.
No, he felt the pressure coming and tried to accelerate his mental clock in his head, and the linebacker just kind of dropped back into zone because the running back was staying in to block and just started reading the quarterback's eyes.
So the Vikings will live to fight another down here, as it's 3rd down and 6 here, 1:15 remaining from the 29-yard line. 4 wides. Burras looks down the sideline, rips it once again. It's Piero, stutter step, and he steps out of bounds, going forward this time around. So a 1st down, and this should stop the clock this time around. And a flag at the end of the play. A lot of dirty laundry here, and it's a holding call against the Vikings. Just can't get out of your own way in so many situations today. We've seen the Vikings come out, get the 1st down, and some dirty laundry has brought it back. Amari Effadil will come out. He'll replace Jake Calcano. And the Vikings look like they want to bring a little bit more size here.
Yeah, I think you just try to make Fresno City waste their last time out here. Oh, or not.
Snap is off. Screen pass across the middle field. It's over to Piero, as Piero is upended after a gain of 4 on the play. And the clock will continue to run here. An opportunity to take a timeout and stop the clock for Fresno City College, but instead it looks like the Vikings are sending their team out. I think the Vikings are just going to run out the clock in this situation here.
They're going to call a timeout with 1 second left.
Yeah, there's no way that you go for it in this situation here. I think you're just trying to get the guys to jump off sides.
Yep, you're just trying to act like there's confusion. Keep running the play clock down.
And that's exactly what they do. 26 seconds on the clock, 3 seconds left on the play clock, and a timeout's taken here. as the clock turns down to 22 seconds. So interesting little tactical play here. It looks like Fresno City College they have one more timeout in their pocket, but they didn't elect to take it here. As the clock ticks down to 22 seconds, the Vikings will likely send the punt unit out for, I believe, the first time today. And yeah, like we were saying before, we were talking about how basically the Vikings will punt it away, possibly the first time that we see today. And then, what were you saying, Kyle?
Oh, I was just going to say I wouldn't be shocked to see Fresno City bring an all-out pressure here to try to block the punt. With such little time left on the clock, if they get a good punt off, you know, you will really only have one, maybe two plays to be able to get into field goal position where, you know, you send it and don't even really try to return it and, you know, see if you can spark something that way.
And Yannick Berg, one of the receivers for the Vikings, taking off his jersey here. I don't know if he's injured. It looks like he might be holding his arm. So that's something that the Vikings have to account for. Yannick Berg was listed as one of the starting receivers for the Vikings here. And the punt block unit will come out for Fresno City College as we see Jacob Johnson, JJ, out for the first time today. Mid-high snap. That's a wobbler, and a fair caught will be called for at the 41-yard line. That's bobbled and then picked up. 15 seconds left on the clock here. 24-13 our score here as Vikings have an 11-point deficit, but they will get the ball back on the other side.
So Fresno City here, they got 15 seconds left. Their kicker already has shown that he has a leg. He's been kicking it into the end zone on majority of the kickoffs. So with one timeout left, the whole field's in play. You can still, they've been having a lot of success with those skinny posts, especially to Cox. See if he gets used here.
Yeah, let's see if they elect to do that. And they'll line up in that full house backfield here. I believe we might actually just see a knee, though.
See a knee.
This is an interesting formation. I always like to say it's the shotgun snap knee. So I believe the quarterback actually takes a 6-yard loss on that instead of the standard 1-yard loss you get on a knee. So that's something to factor in going forward.
Yeah, that's the issue of not doing too much under center.
Exactly. So that'll send us to our halftime break here. The score 24-13 as the Vikings trail by 11 points. Scores early and often by Fresno City College. And the Vikings able to find some grooves here and there. But, I mean, Kyle, what are your keys for the Vikings offense going into the next quarter?
Yeah, I think for the second half, DVC, the main points that the coaches are going to harp on in the locker room during halftime is, one, limit the turnovers. I think Fresno City had, 12 points off of turnovers in the first half, and two, just cleaning up the penalties. Stop putting yourself behind the sticks when the defense doesn't have to do anything. Those are mental mistakes that need to get cleaned up if DVC wants to come back in the second half.
And for Fresno City College, honestly, keep the same game plan. Everything's working. Your skinny posts are working. Your out routes are working. The running game inside hasn't been working, so let's see if the Vikings can maybe really tighten up their run gaps by the linebackers and the defensive backs on the outside. But with that, it'll send us to a halftime break. We'll fix our scoreboard, and we'll change up our camera situation. And let's get you a terrific broadcast here for the rest of this game here. A lot of technical difficulties to fix here at the halftime break. Thank you so much for joining us here for the 3C2A kickoff game here on DVC Vikings Live. We switched out cameras. We got our scoreboard up and running through another software. We're ready to go. This is how it should have been from the get-go, and we're going to make it happen here on DVC Vikings Live. So in a sacrifice attempt, no more replays will unfortunately be played on the board, but we will have a live scoreboard going your way. So, I mean, trade-offs are just the way it goes in week 1 as we try to make things better and come back stronger in week 2. Or week 3, I should say, as the Vikings take the road next week. So 24-13 is our score here, kicking off to start the second half of play. It is the Fresno City College Rams, the number 14 team in the state, taking on the number 25 ranked DVC Vikings in the first game for Coach Collins. DVC will send out their 2 deep return men. It'll be Omari Taylor and Sean Davis, but haven't had too many opportunities as the big leg of Enriquez as he boots away a low, long drive kick. Will be fielded down at the one zone, opportunity to return it now with Sean Davis taken out to the 20-yard line. Has a blocker in front of him, out to the 30. Run out of bounds at the 31-yard line. A tackle made on the play by number 4, and that is Zach Jenkins, the wide receivers on special teams. So the Vikings, another great opportunity to start here. And they'll get the ball all the way out to the 41-yard line, facing a first down and 10. I mean, ups and downs, Kyle, in that first half of Burroughs. Burroughs had some opportunities and some nice throws over to David Piero, but the fumble, the missed deep passes, what does Burroughs have to do to really get his game going in the second half?
Yeah, I think he needs to keep moving the ball around. Piero's done a great job getting open. I think he got a little unlucky on that fumble. I don't know if his arm was moving forward or not, but just try to be more consistent, and he's doing a great job being able to, take what the defense is giving him. And as long as he stays consistent with that and keep this offense in manageable situations, I think he just needs to be a game manager tonight and not try to do too much.
And Jack Metzler, the tackle, makes the tackle on the play after the sweep goes for a gain of 1 on the play by the Vikings here. And Burroughs sprints back into the huddle and will call the play here. Two receivers out wide with the tight end, motioning right to left. He'll line up in the outside slot. That's Affadil now. So spread look, play action fake across the middle, and he was being blocked, but a nice swat down by Keanu Kuma there, his middle linebacker position. And to be honest, I think that might have been a better situation there because you got an illegal man downfield in that situation.
Yeah, he was an illegal man downfield because he did such a good job blocking the middle linebacker. He was taking him for a ride. Unfortunately, he took him right into the passing lane.
Single high safety look here, and it's a pistol look for the Vikings here as we try to get our camera situation fixed up here. Showing a little too wide left. Snap is off. Rolling out to his right, Burroughs throws it across the middle of the field, and it's too low for David Piero, and it's a 3-and-out for the Vikings. The defense of the Rams comes up too strong here for the Vikings, and they'll have to boot it away for the second time today.
Incoming is number 39. That's Jacob Johnson. Going deep for the Rams is 6, Travis Sweat.
So DVC is out to punt now.
And DVC will boot this one away. A low, high kick will bounce down at the 28-yard line and take a bounce just outside of the 20. So they'll mark it down at the 24. And it was a low snap but a high punt. And it's Fresno City College after 1 minute of play getting the ball back 24-13.
Yeah, and it's a big situation here for DVC's defense, trying to keep this score to 11 points to start the half. You were able to kind of get some momentum at the end of the first half. Then you let Fresno City score again, kind of taking the momentum back into the locker room. If DVC's defense here can stand strong, maybe they can capture some of that momentum back.
And they'll continue to come out in the pistol look. They've run the majority of the sets out of this one. And it is McCarrion out of the backfield once more. He comes back in, a holding call, and a pass well low for his intended receiver. That was Veltre Johnson, but this one's going to go back 10 yards.
Veltre Jefferson.
Ooh. It's not a holding. It's a personal foul on number 91. That's defensive end Rorik Hoban. So what seemed to be almost like an obvious hold has turned into a 15-yard penalty by the way of the Vikings, and the ball moved all the way down to the 40. So from the Rams side of the field, the ball will be lined up at the 40-yard line. Late substitution for the Vikings here, and they seem to be able to get it off in time. Coming out of the shotgun, it is McCarrion alongside Amarion Gaines-Smith. Two receivers split out wide on each side. One safety over the top for the Vikings here. Chest high snap, throws it on the out-cutting route, and a catch made for a gain of 5 on the play, and it was a catch made by number 6. That is Travis Seward. So Travis Seward with the catch, making it 2nd down and 4 after the gain of 6 on the play.
6-yard pickup, 2nd and 4.
And as the shadow encompasses the full field, the press box is still hot as ever, but it seems like the temperature on the field has dropped dramatically now as both teams can finally catch their breath. Two-back pistol look as they bring Couch into the fullback spot. McCarrion from the 4 hash mark calling for the ball. Claps, gets the head high snap, able to hand it off. Up the middle, springs free for the 1st down. Amarion Gaines-Smith with the carry. Tackle made by Charles Cox.
And Fresno City, this isn't what you want to see from DVC's defense. They did a great job stopping the run, going up the middle. Pretty much majority of the first half here, Fresno City starting open that up a little bit, soften them up front. That's just something you don't want Fresno City to be able to open up as this game goes.
Yeah, and the number 1 rule going into this one is stop the run, and the Vikings hadn't done it in that play. 5-3 front, a handoff right up into it. Squeezing his way forward is Ashton Calabian. Wesley on the tackle as Garton comes in there and makes the hit.
Again, Fresno City just asserting their dominance up front, just running the ball straight up the middle, able to open up some lanes.
2nd and 4.
And Dougie Silva, the long snapper, will check in to get some reps at linebacker. A very great linebacker, but you typically don't want to necessarily put him out there because if you lose your long snapper, then your special teams game is going to really start to hurt. Silva's going to rush off the edge, and it's another handoff up the middle, and the quarterback read that one incorrectly. On the RPO, the tackle was made in the backfield for a loss of 1 as Calabian is taken down. Tackle made by Charles Cox, the safety coming up to make the TFL.
DVC defense adjusted there, decided to bring the blitz. It was a good call in that situation, able to stop them behind the line.
Yeah, and you got to remember, this is the first time calling defense at the college level for Coach Kenyon. 12 years as the defensive coordinator over at De La Salle High School, but the speed of the game is slightly different once you start to move up higher. I know they're a powerhouse down there, but some adjustments to be made. Over the head snap, but he's able to handle it. Go route down the far sideline, and a ball nicely broken up at the end of the play. No flags as the coverage was done beautifully by Jeffrey Holden.
And that's going to be something to keep an eye on. Cox over there trying to get his shoulder loosened up. He fell right on it. That's typically AC joint area, collarbone. So he's holding it gingerly, see if he's able to get back out there their next possession because he's been great for them this game.
Yeah, similar to what we saw with Likely on that play last time with the Baltimore Ravens.
I did see that
Chiefs.
one.
Yeah, I know. I was surprised he even came back in there. But terrific coverage. I mean, track speed by the way of Jeffrey Holden. He ran a 15.05 in the 100-meter hurdles. So he's got them hurdler legs. A 2-punt returner formation, and the ball will be fielded after a low punt by Sean Davis, and the Vikings will get it from the 15-yard line. And extracurricular activities after the play as Silas Bay was knocked to his rear end, and the Vikings licked again an additional 15 on top. We'll await the official to see which boneheaded mistake or which player made the boneheaded mistake for the Fresno City College.
I think it was number 23. Went a little too far after the whistle. They called it
offsetting. So he must have been talking trash or something, which evoked the response. Typically, you don't get the guy talking trash to start it. You only get the the retaliation.
The refs have been making it a point of emphasis, it seems like, tonight, not to miss that first thing that causes the retaliation and only getting them.
And that's what you want, honestly. That's fair officiating, and that's all you can ever ask for.
Absolutely.
So the Vikings come out for the second time here, a 3-and-out on their opening drive. Let's see if they can get something going here in the workout. Trips out to the near-hand side. Ferrari's in the backfield alongside Burres. Burres chest high snap, and he holds the counter. Nope, it's a keeper, and Teddy just has to throw this ball away. The coverage over the top was good by the Fresno City College Rams, and it's going to be 2nd down and 10 now after the incompletion. Kyle, what'd you see with the coverage over the top for Fresno City College that time?
Fresno City's still been just playing that single high safety, rolling over the strong side safety into coverage and letting that linebacker get into either a zone or blitz. And these cornerbacks have been doing a really good job holding their own.
2 backfield backed, and it's a handoff over to Davis as the lead blocker was Ferrari. And Ferrari Miller unable to get the block here as the ball carrier is knocked back half a yard on the play, maybe at best. Bencourt making the tackle.
And outside of these, just to go a little further on that, outside of Piero, who's number 3 for DVC, these DVC receivers have had a really hard time creating any separation against these cornerbacks.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, sometimes you just got to go to your lead guys.
Absolutely.
Burr is out of the shotgun. Belt high snap, handles it well, steps up in the pocket, fires down deep middle of field, and it's intercepted at the 41-yard line, taking it down to the 30, the 35, the 20, and he's finally wrangled down there. A really difficult pass there as he threw it behind the intended receiver as an additional flag comes at the end of the play, but it's a terrific job getting the interception by Jalen Jones, the defensive back. And Kyle, what'd you see on that play? Because I saw a receiver going across, and then it looked like Teddy might have thrown it behind him.
Yeah, it was almost like a skinny route, just trying to find the seam, which you're supposed to do as the receiver. And I don't know if it was pressure or what, but the throw was behind him and sitting right where the cornerback was, and all he had to do was stop his feet, turn around, and catch it right at his head.
So instead, it's a turnover and the first interception of the day. 2 turnovers now by DVC's offense, or pardon me, 3 if you want to count the turnover on downs. Burres had the fumble in the second quarter, and in this third quarter here, he throws his first pick of the year. 24-13, it's still an 11-point game at the 10:09-minute mark here. And after the personal foul, the interception was brought down at the 21, and the ball will be brought out to the Vikings 36, and that is where we'll see this potent Fresno City offense come out once more.
Yeah, let's see if Fresno City keeps trying to soften them up front, keep trying to run it up the middle to start their drives. 2
receivers to the far-hand side. Tight end Veltre Jefferson hasn't had a look so far tonight. It'll be a play-action fake. Pressure comes into his face, and a sack all the way back down at the 47-yard line.
Yeah, so the last couple possessions, Fresno City has started their drives off with running the ball up the middle. They tried to play off of that, catch DVC off guard, and take a big shot. DVC did a great job not falling for the play action, and their DNs got off the line great, whereas able to get to the quarterback.
And I can see why you put Dougie Silva in the game. He is the long snapper, but man, that is an athletic beast. He came in, got the huge pressure, and it's a big tackle for losses. The ball's brought down to the 41-yard line, outside of field goal range here with 9:30 remaining. Up back off the left-hand side is Couch, and it's a pistol look once more for McCarrion. Claps for the ball. Hand up the middle. Flag comes in late, and Amarion Gaines-Smith swarmed after a couple on the play.
And before they make the call, one thing I noticed too for Fresno City is Cox isn't back on the field after hurting his shoulder that last possession. That can be big because he's been doing a great job taking the top off the defense.
Absolutely, but maybe you see a few of the other guys. Amari Conley has been a star to really point out there. Marshall Sanders has been a guy that was really standing out on tape. So when you don't have your number 1 guy, the 6'5" sophomore from Fresno, you got to go other places, and let's see if McCarrion can do so.
Absolutely, but 6'5" doesn't grow on trees. That's a easy target to find around the field and throw, get to, and along with his speed, being able to take the defense over the top, that's just a target that you're going to miss.
And so, Kyle, did you get a call at the end of the play?
I did not.
I
was busy talking.
Yeah, so I believe it's an unsportsmanlike penalty or something along those lines, and nope, it's a 5-yard penalty. So the ball will be second down and
illegal formation.
Let's see where they mark it at the end of the play. It's at the 46-yard line, so it looks like the Vikings will take the penalty, making it second down and 19 from the 46 after the illegal formation. And Coach Collins doesn't like something. He's going up to the field judge, and he's talking up in his ear. And the officials trying to figure out something. We'll take a timeout, and we'll take it alongside with them here on DVC Vikings Live. Back on the field, 9:12 remaining here in the third quarter of play. It's a 24-13 point advantage. And the ball's marching forward now. I believe the Vikings declined the penalty on the illegal formation, so it'll take the third down and 12 instead of the second and 20. I like that. You're in a position where I don't know if the kicker can really make it from any sort of point. I mean, talking to Coach Tony Calviglia before the game, he said the projected range of his kicker was from the 50, or was for 50 yards out. So the ball would have to go to the 33. So possibly an opportunity for a long field goal, but the Vikings going to roll the dice here and make a third down and 13 from the 39-yard line on their side of the field. Three-step drop, steps his way forward, rolls up to his right-hand side. Markarian's going to have to run for it. One man to beat, isn't able to do so, but he does get out to the 31. And I don't know, your kicker hasn't made a PAT today. Do you send him out for the long field goal attempt, or do you go for it on third down and intermediate?
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. With their struggles with the extra point, it's going to be interesting what they choose to do. Looks like they will send him out.
Yeah.
He's definitely got the leg.
Oh, yeah.
On the kickoffs, they're impressive. They're going about halfway into the end zone. So he's got the leg. It's just, can the protection up front be good for long enough for him to be able to get it off?
A 48-yard attempt here. Maybe if you can't make it from short, you can make it from deep. Heels of the kicker spotted down at the 41-yard line. The Vikings sending one man deep, and that's Anthony Henry. Snap is up, hold is down, the kick is up. It's short and wide right. Henry will field it, and the Vikings will get a stop here. The long field goal attempt goes awry, and the Vikings able to get off the field. They'll take it from the 31. So, negative note, you tossed the interceptions last time around. On a positive note, your defense comes up and makes the stop in the turnover on downs.
Yeah, no, and they're going to start off with good field position here at the 31-yard line. So hopefully DVC can, get this offense jump-started, as it was a little slow start to the half so far.
Yeah, a 3-and-out and then an interception. I think you got to get the running game going. You still got plenty of time. You're only down 11 in this situation. Start to give it to your backs and get things going. Shotgun look for Burris, and it will be a handoff right-hand side, showing some patience, and then the swarm comes to pick him up. Omari Taylor on the carry. That's his first.
Yeah, whoever scores next in this game is going to really dictate how the rest of this game goes. If it's DVC, they're going to be able to still be able to run the ball, get into short yard situations that they've liked. If it's Fresno City, then DVC is really on their back heels at that point, being down 3 possessions. I know you still got a lot of time in this game, but how many possessions are you going to have left, especially if you haven't been able to throw the depot where all your drives have to be meticulated down the field? It's going to be important to score.
Yeah, and the differential, I believe, is only 2, as it's an 11-point game. So a little bit of a different situation here. Throw out into the flats. It's caught, brought out to the 40-yard line and tackled down after a gain of 8. A nice play by Amani Effadil.
I was saying if Fresno City scores next.
And number 36, Archie Chambers, makes the tackle.
I was saying if Fresno City scores next, then it's a
Oh,
free
I see.
possession.
Sorry. I'm a little deaf.
No, all good. For all I know, I probably didn't say it right.
Hey, when in doubt, blame me. Just remember that.
No. Blame me.
Dougie Silva shimmying here after he got the sack, forcing a long kick there. Hopefully we don't have to see a long snapper until possibly further down the field. Snap is off. It's a handoff right-hand side. Breaks through the first wave of tacklers and able to fall forward for a first down. The forward progress will give it to him as Amari Taylor able to run between the tackles. We saw what he can do in space, and he does enough to get the first.
Yeah, and DVC's offensive lineman did a really good job jumping on the ball because I think that ball came out during the run.
Alex Valencia on the tackle. And, I mean, to be honest, a good job by the defense from the Rams being able to get there and stop the ball for only a gain of 2, but the first down is there. So the Vikings pick up a first down, and they'll come out in a pistol spread look once more. Between the hash marks here, Heels of Burris is from the 44. Chest-high snap. Looks down the sideline, and it's thrown another out route, thrown and completed to David Piero as the tackle is made by Diego Betancourt.
Yeah, and that slant in the second half for DVC hasn't been there. They go back to that out route to Piero from the slot, which has been really good for them this entire game.
Yeah, continue to just get it over to Piero, man. He's been your bread and butter all night long. Keep getting it to him. Burr is looking as head coach from the near sideline as he's working left to right with 5:30 remaining here in the third quarter, trailing by 11, 24-13. It's a second down and 3. Out route once again, and man, he is open all day long. David Piero continues to pick up the first down as he's escorted out of bounds by Eli Laufili. Another first for the Vikes.
Yeah, but something that Fresno City has done to not allow those slant routes and really just make them be able to throw out routes is they're not sending that outside linebacker every single time. So they're trying to switch up their looks to try to confuse the DVC quarterback.
Yeah, in meetings before this game, honestly, the Vikings like their matchups here, and they're taking advantage of it. Ferrari will move out the left hip of Burres, as Burres will pass it once more. Another quick out. That one was tipped, but a nice catch made by the Vikings here. It was number 16, Cade Young, coming up and catching that ball, the sophomore wide receiver. But like we talked about before, I think the Vikings want them to send that edge rusher and put him in the flats because they believe they have better athletes to be able to take advantage of these situations.
Oh, I would take Piero against an outside linebacker every day.
Any day of the week. A 3-2 front for Fresno City College. Trying to defend a 2nd and 5. Play action fake. Rolling out to his left-hand side. He's going to run for it. Burres pump fakes, gets the guy to jump, and is able to squirt his way forward down to the 36-yard line. Tackle made by Archie Chambers at the end of the play. And that is a little bit of heads-up play by Burris. Burris not much of a runner here. He was well past the line of scrimmage, but hey, that little extra pump fake afforded him 3 extra yards and another first down on this drive. 3 first downs as the Vikings continue to drive down the field here. First down and 10, 3:55 remaining here in this 24-13 game with Fresno City College leading the way. Trying the running in this time, springs his way out wide, and he's squatted down and tackled after only a gain of 2 as Diego Betancourt lines up and makes the open field hit against Miller.
This time it was 7. Diego Betancourt wrapping him up. Gain of 1. 2nd and 9.
Yeah, and Fresno City's defense has done a really good job stopping the run at the beginning of the second half, kind of like how they did at the beginning of the first half. So DVC just might have to, keep softening them up, jab, keep taking it to their body and have it open up like it did at the end of the first half.
That's what we saw in the scrimmage. Let's see if it continues. 3 receivers to the far hand side. A read option, play action fake, thrown, and the post route was thrown too low. Trying to find Cade Young once more, and Burris and his receivers just haven't necessarily been on that right page. It seems like Piero's the only one that he's really felt that comfortable connection with so far.
Yeah, and especially coming off that hard play action pass, you would like to see if the quarterback could pick up that safety because they're really only playing a single high safety, and he came down hard at where those aren't the throws you have to try to drive in there. Those are the ones you see the safety come down and you know you have it over the top.
Yeah.
Put some air under it and let your wide receiver run underneath instead of just trying to throw a line drive every time.
Yeah, those are the throws you get in week 4, 5. Week 1, you're still getting the timing right. Pressure comes, the screen pass batted down. They try to get it over to Calignano, and the defensive line was keen to it. So the Vikings in another interesting situation. It's going to be 4th down and 9 from the 35-yard line, well out of field goal range. You've got to go for it. And how many plays in the playbook do you have in there to be able to pick it up in this situation?
There's not many. This isn't a situation that you necessarily want to be in as an OC. So, you know, on 4th down, I know the sign says 3rd down over there. That was throwing me off. I think you just look for Piero and let him try to get you that 1st down.
Single high safety, 3-2 front once again. Chest high snap. Burr is looking down the sideline. Has Piero once again at the 25. He's hit right at the marker to gain, and they'll give him enough for the first. On 4th down and 9, the Vikings get 10 with Piero, and Piero is a monster.
Yeah, any situation that you need yards, you're looking at number 3 solely and letting him win that matchup. It also helps that he's in the slot, and the way this Fresno City defense is set up, that safety, because they're trying to make it look like a cover 2 shell, he's just way too far off the line to be able to get there.
Look like man-to-man coverage across the board as the Vikings will try the running game with Ferrari, as Ferrari squeezes through his guard and center, and he's able to pick up a gain of 4. And this is what happens. Ferrari starts to get 2, starts to get 4, and we saw him spring free for a gain of 15+ in the first half. Maybe the running game will start to find its
you know,
we'll kick it into gear.
Those luxury cars, you got to let them run a little bit to get warmed up.
He's been cruising in 2nd and 3rd gear. Let's see him drop that clutch and punch it through. And they will do so with Ferrari once again. The lead blocker is Burris in front of him. Stiff arms the defender down to the ground as Ferrari picks up a gain of 6. And the Vikings are in the red zone down to the 14-yard line. I love that. The quarterback came out there, the lead blocker on the play. I mean, that is all heart and effort.
I love the heart and effort, like you said, but if you're the coach, your heart goes into your throat, and you're just saying, please don't block with that throwing shoulder.
Spoken like a true quarterback. Working out of the pistol spread, press coverage on the outside receiver. And standing tall in the pocket, Burris throws another pick. Did he get his feet down? I think he did. Double coverage in the flats this time around. They just keyed in on David Piero. And sometimes when you go to the well too many times, you get got.
So that was the adjustment that I mentioned earlier at the half, where Fresno City isn't sending that outside linebacker every time. Sometimes they're just rushing 3 and keeping that outside backer to try to get to the flats before Piero. This time the quarterback didn't see it, was just kind of stuck on it, didn't look any other direction, and just tried to lob it up in there. The outside linebacker did a great job getting to the outside and creating depth, and was able to get the interception. It's those reads that, you know, you see it pre-snap every single play, and you don't know when they're going to throw that little wrinkle in. That's the hardest, especially when something's been working as well as that out route. It's hard to get your eyes off of that.
Absolutely. And the Vikings haven't had too much success throwing it beyond 5 to 10 yards there. And they get picked off for the 2nd and a. Full backfield on the 2-back pistol. A rush off the right-hand side for Amarion Gaines-Smith. Gaines-Smith held up by the legs, continues to fight, continues to churn, and it continues forward for a gain of 2 before the swarm of green defenders, or green and white defenders, I should say, comes up to make the stop. 109. Counting down here in the 3rd quarter. It's an 11-point game with a 24-13 lead for the Rams of Fresno City College, the number 14 team in the 3C2A.
And at least to start the 2nd half, this DVC's defense has done a good job making adjustments in the locker room and has really been able to hold this Fresno City offense at bay.
A stalemate throughout the first 14 minutes here. And a false start likely called against the Rams.
Fresno City's not going to like that because they had them off. There was no contact. Everybody, they were hoping to be able to get that free deep play.
Oh, so you think it was an offsides on the Vikings?
I do, yeah.
Yep, and you are correct. The game will move the ball out all the way to the, I believe they're going to bring this one out to the 18-yard line, so it's going to be 2nd down and 3. Clock churning down here, 18 seconds left on the play clock, 35 on the big clock here in the third quarter. Third quarter action as both defenses have really stood tall here in the second half of play so far. Up back off the right-hand side. Vikings show a little bit of confusion on the outside, and it's a handoff over to Gain Smith. The cutback lane is open, able to take it at the very end of the play. Going forward for a gain of 5. Amari Gain Smith continues to have his pretty productive night. Tackle made by number 99 for the Vikings. That is, oh, I had the wrong roster up here. It's Amari Cormier making the tackle. So with that, it'll send us to our fourth quarter. It's an 11-point game after many missed points. And we'll take the break alongside with them here on DVC Vikings Live. Flip the sides of the field here, and there's 15 minutes left in this game, and the Vikings trailing by 11, 24-13 here after a stalemate in the third quarter of play. Vikings setting out a 5-man front here, 2 linebackers lining up as the outside players. It's a read option, and a swing pass out to the forehand side. Tries to break one tackle, Zach Jenkins. And the tackle made by Charles Cox, the safety, over the top. And that's a little bit of a different read that we've seen. We've seen a read option many times, but honestly, a handoff like 90% of the time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
They were trying to anticipate the blitz right there, get a little play action. They were hoping to try to get one-on-one on the outside and with running those slants on the outside to bring those corners and get a little commotion.
And with that, it'll be second down and 7 from the 32-yard line, 14:37 counting down. Up back off the right-hand side and the pistol look. It's been working oh so steady as they've been taking their shots and handoffs here. Slow developing run turns into a big one as the ball is brought out to the 40-yard line. A gain of 15 on the play here. Anthony Henry makes the tackle, and did we get a number on the runner? I believe that was 21, right?
21, yep.
Okay, that is Ashton Calabian, who had the opening score on the flat route here at about, I would say that play was about at 5:50 p.m. It's 7:38 here, or 7:39, and the other game tonight, Laney College of Modesto, should have kicked off at 7. So 2 Base 6 teams getting their start of the 3C2A season, and we got a fun one on our hands here as the Rams lead the Vikings 24-13. Handoff left side. Gets through the first wave of defenders and is finally brought down. That is 35 Chavez on the rush. We saw him in that big full house backfield as he scored a touchdown in the second quarter of play. And at this point, I think you're content to just keep trying to run the ball because it is a 2-possession game, but as the clock keeps turning down and as the Vikings haven't really shown the prowess to be able to really go deep down the field, you're in a pretty good position here. You are still in the driver's seat very so much. Another handoff, left side, squeezes through the left side of the line and a shimmy forward for an additional gain. He was first contacted, that was Chavez at the 46, and he just fought oh so hard to get out to the 49, so it's third down and short for the Rams now.
And to your point, Max, Fresno City is going to really rely on that run game. They're bringing in some bigger backs, trying to keep that DVC defense as tired as possible. And you know, right now, like you said, with the lack of DVC offense that's been going on, they're just playing against the clock at this point.
Third down and short, third down and about half a yard from the 49-yard line, trying to squeak their way for another first down. It's a pass play, thrown out into the flats. Coming back for it is Amarion Gaines Smith, as 2 is tackled by 2. And Malik Viewins, the starting linebacker from a year ago, is able to make the stop on the play, but not quite fast enough, as it's a first down for the Rams. Clock continues to tick, tick, tick. 12:07, pardon me, counting down to the fourth here as they have the 11-point advantage.
And the other thing I think Fresno City realizes as well is Cox hasn't been on the field majority of this second half, and you can tell they haven't been trying to take that deep shot again. It's a part of their offense that's missing, so they're trying to, you know, fill in the gaps with the run game, the little out passes more to keep the offense in sync.
And I think the Vikings do match pretty well speed for speed, but it's the size that was the difference. Play action fake in the backfield, and they will take that deep shot. This time it goes to the tight end, squeaking forward. And that's a big pickup on the play as Jack Kirby, the second tight end, is able to bring it down to the 21-yard line inside of field goal range here. That's an 11-point game, so if you do kick the field goal, it is still a 2-possession game. But honestly, after collecting this momentum and the clock continuing to go down with 11:22 remaining, I think you just continue to just run your offense as planned.
Yeah, you keep doing what you're doing if you're Fresno City right now. There's no reason to get cute or divert from the plan.
12 personnel. And another give. Tackled in the backfield this time around. The Vikings read it perfectly. And the tackle made by number 11. That is the outside linebacker, Wesley Garden. Garden has been one of the guys that the coaching staff has spoken oh so highly about. He's a 2-star recruit, played basketball and football at a high school. First team MCAL. I mean, just a terrific player. Hey, here's a fun fact. Grandpa played for the Roll Tide Bama in the 30s.
Roll Tide.
And I think they'll be content to live in this 12 personnel now. Up back off the left-hand side, and they'll put both the tight ends off the right side. Extremely strong side right. And they'll run left, out forward. It's Chavez once more. Continue to fight and grind and get his way down to the 5-yard line.
Yeah, and Fresno City is just asserting their dominance up front. And also, I like how they changed up the running back and brought in a bigger back, a little bit of a bruiser, and he's hitting that hole hard. He is not looking for a cutback. He is not looking to stretch it out. He is hitting that hole at full speed, inviting contact. And, you know, when you've been out on the field as long as DVC's defense has been this entire second half, because the offense hasn't been working, those legs start getting a little more tired, and it's just harder to keep your gap sound and not get pushed off.
Chavez, the dot back out of the full hand pistol look. And it's another give to Chavez, and Chavez is taken down by Wesley Garten and company after only a gain of 2. In this situation, I think it's fair to say that the Vikings need to do everything to bend but not break. You give up the field goal in this situation, and it's still a 2-possession game. You have an opportunity to get back into it, down 14. But if you do give up the touchdown here, I think you got to start waving goodbye and start looking toward the next week.
If they score a touchdown, they need to find that passing game quick.
Tight end off the right-hand side of the full backfield pistol look once more. Up backs, 4 yards off the ball, and it's Markarian calling for the snap. Hand off right side, nope, it's a play action fake, throws it into the front of the end zone, and it's Kirby for the touchdown. Jack Kirby got the ball to bring them into the red zone, and he caps this long drive off with the touchdown. 30-13, Fresno City College with the advantage. 8:42 remaining here in the fourth quarter of play, and the number 14 team in the 3C2A is putting it on.
And really that whole possession, Fresno City did a great job incorporating the play action pass at
100%.
in situations where DVC was really trying to stop the run, and they just did a fabulous job play calling that whole series.
Snap is down, hold is down, kick is up.
Nope.
And another missed PAT. So, on a bright side, your offense has looked great. Your defense has really done a good job forcing essentially 4 turnovers tonight for the Rams. But your special teams just is looking like it's week 1.
Yeah, unfortunately, special teams normally gets the least amount of reps in the summer and getting ready for the season. I mean, it's obvious the kicker has plenty of leg. It's just something that's going to get tightened up. I don't think that first block was necessarily his fault. DVC did a good job getting penetration, but as the year goes on, those special teams typically iron themselves out.
Yeah, and I mean, if special teams are the the worst of your problems, you're a pretty happy camper, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, the team's done a great job today. Fresno City has, with even how many missed extra points and 2-point conversions that they haven't converted. They haven't let that get to them. They keep going out there on offense and getting great possessions and going down the field and scoring.
So the Vikings facing a big deficit of 17 points here. It's officially a 3-possession game here. You can only get 8 points at most on the drive. But the Vikings have been held out of the end zone and out of the uprights here throughout the first half. Fielded by the upback. A spin and a tackle made as Ciale, the defensive lineman, keeping true to the poly tradition here at DVC. Hair flowing out the back, and anytime you get one of those former rugby players on the field, you got to be careful. They can make a play.
Absolutely. If you're a coaching staff, though, I think they would like to see the arm go up. Just hold on to the football, baby.
Hey, rugby, brother. Yeah, in my time playing here, man, I feel old now, but 10 years ago,
don't
I
make
learned
me
a
feel
lot
old.
about Polynesian culture, and I believe they're going to re-kick this.
Ball will be re-kicked.
I don't see what happened on the play that would cause it. I didn't see any
I didn't
penalties
see
or
any
anything.
laundry on the field, no.
Yeah.
Let's see if we get an explanation from the ref.
Yeah, but as I was saying before, I learned a lot about Polynesian culture, Samoans, Tongans, even some Hawaiians here. That's one thing you learn.
That's the great thing about sports, bringing people together from
Absolutely.
different backgrounds.
That's the great thing about America as well. I mean, you have so many
Absolutely.
people coming here, a melting pot. And we continue to preach the message of unity, as we always do. So I believe it's a penalty on maybe one of the gunmen went a little early because the ball will be spotted down at the 30. So I think it is going to be a 5-yard penalty, and the Vikings want to get an opportunity to return this one. You have 2 dangerous returners in Amari Taylor and Sean Davis back there.
Yeah, but that was smart by Fresno City. The DVC offense hasn't been hurting you this whole second half, and the only guy who has been a lot of this game is number 24.
And it's going to be a high sidewinding kick, and it'll be fielded down at the 15-yard line. The Vikings will bring it up from the near hash mark and be tackled down at the 33. And extracurricular activities, but I don't think the officials want to become a storyline in this one as they let it go. Ball was brought down after an 18-yard return down to the 34-yard line.
And credit to both teams right there, too, not overreacting. There was some extracurricular activity. I think both coaches at the end of the first half preached no more personal fouls after unsportsmanlike conduct. So both teams wanted to and backed off pretty quick, and the refs saw that and gave the benefit of the doubt.
So the Vikings will need to change up the game plan and go into a more deep passing attempt here. They'll line up from the near hash mark out of the shotgun with 3 receivers to the far-hand side. The left tackle throws his towel into the field. Burr is standing tall, throws it across the middle of the field, and it's caught once again, makes the defender miss, and he's out to the 50, and a pickup of 17 on the play. David Piero is the lifeline that the Vikings have needed oh so much, and it comes up in a massive opportunity once again.
Yeah, Pierre's having himself a game right now, being really disruptive out of the slot.
And the Vikings hurrying up here. They'll line up, same formation, but flip the sides of the field. 3 receivers to the near-hand side from the far hash mark, and the Vikings will look to work the short side of the field. And nearly an interception thrown, but a tackle made after a gain of 5. And the catch was made by number 16, Cade Young, in his 3rd catch of the second half. The Vikings do get out of bounds. So 7:55 remaining here, as I think he went out of bounds going backwards. And the clock continues to tick, tick, tick 17-point advantage for Fresno City College. Trips to the near-hand side. Late blitz comes. Vikings pick it up well. They'll have to check it down. And honestly, not the worst situation here. A check down pass to Ferrari will end up leading you into more time off the clock, but an incomplete pass at least stops the clock here. On 3rd down and 4 with 7:41 remaining from the Fresno City 42-yard line. Burez continues to run out of this shotgun look here. That's a 5-man front and a handoff. Ferrari Miller doesn't get enough for the first down, and the Vikings will face a 4th down and 1 now. '95 made the tackle. That is Greg De La Carta, the sophomore defensive lineman for the Rams. De La Cerda, I should be corrected here. Vikings line up on 4th and 1 out of the pistol spread between the hash marks on the D of the DVC Vikings midfield logo, I should say. And Ferrari does just enough to get close. I don't think they'll give it to him. Only a gain of half on the play. The official might have given the Vikings a very favorable spot at the end of the play. Let's see.
They're calling it Fresno City ball.
They are going to call it. No measure at all. Fresno City College gets the stop here. Well, the thing that confuses me here is where they spotted the ball would have been a first down here. I think you got to spot the ball half a yard short if you're going to call it that way, right?
Yeah, where he came out, though, he kind of got bumped off his line and tried to readjust, but when he started running off the sideline to...
Wait, no, so the Vikings will stay on the field. It is a first down for the Vikes.
They had switched the ball out and everything. No,
pause.
Fresno City, Fresno
as
City's
we've
on.
had our issues in week 1, the officials have a week 1 as well. Yes, they had the scrimmage, but yeah, it is going to be first down for Fresno as the Vikings turn it over for is that the 5th time today? 3 turnovers on downs or 6th time, I think. 3 turnovers on downs, 2 interceptions, and a fumble lost.
Yep.
And they'll continue to live out of that 12 personnel, 2 tight end set here as the other quarterback comes back in. And it's Yache Vance. And that's such a luxury, though. You have a quarterback who's backed up, knows your system, has done a good job facilitating, has made some deep throws down the field, and you can also throw in a change of pace quarterback who can sling the ball. We saw him put that pill down all the way to the 10-yard line earlier in this game, but just much more of a running threat there.
Yeah, and absolutely, and especially with where this game is and the clock winding down and how much they want to run, bring in the dual threat quarterback. You're able to, throw in the read option if, DVC really starts hunkering down in the middle and slanting those outside rushers.
So the Vikings will line up. Sends the blitz perfectly timed, but maybe a little too early there. See if we can get a number, but a great time blitz. I think it was the official that was a little slow on that play. Instead, it's a violation on the Rams, so the ball will be pushed back an additional 5 yards. Honestly, not the worst situation there because, as I said many times already, that blitz was well timed.
Yes.
Vikings will line up in the dime. The lone linebacker will be Wesley Garton. Handoff. No, it's a quarterback keeper. Taken down for a sack. The second sack of the day for the Vikings will be a loss of 4 on the play.
Yeah, so the Rams try to utilize the dual threat option at quarterback right there, and DVC did a great job. They also overloaded that side on the blitz, so they had the running back covered and the quarterback.
So I lied. They were in the nickel because Malik Viewens was in there, and he's the one that was able to get the sack. So Viewens and Wesley Garton are the 2 linebackers here in this nickel look. And a very tight formation as Fresno able to get the head-high snap, and it's another quarterback keeper. Spins out of the first defender, and a terrific job just cleaning things up after the athleticism was able to bring Vance outside. Charles Cox makes the tackle there. And the Vikings with 6:27 on the clock will make it a 3rd down and, man, at this point, what is it? It's a 3rd down and 23?
3rd down and 4.
Yeah, 3rd down and 4. So, like we said before, it's nice to have a dual threat quarterback being able to get in there, but if you're making bad reads, you're making bad reads.
Yeah, and it's right now, you know, DVC's bringing the blitz and overloading the weak side where the quarterback would be running. So it's, you know, it's the right idea if you're the Rams. It's just hard with these situations where, you know, DVC knows that you're running the ball and they're going to be bringing the blitz every time.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the name of the game.
Yeah, and to be honest, I don't think the Rams care too much how many yards they get. They're just trying to chew the clock.
Yeah.
Especially after 2 first down penalties before
Exactly.
you even get a snap off, starting off 1st and 20. They're just trying to not turn the ball over here, pick up as many yards, and bleed the clock as much as possible.
And the Vikings do take the time out to stop the clock, so they are still very much fighting and clawing throughout this. 3rd down and 25 from the 24-yard line. A shotgun look for a rare look for Vance, and Vance just throws it off of his back foot as the ball drops into the ground at the 43-yard line. The closest player on the field was Tone Monroe. So it's 4th down, and the punting unit will come out. And Kyle, is this the first punt of the half for Fresno City College?
I believe it is.
I mean, just they started to lose a little momentum as the Vikings were finding their groove in the end parts of the second quarter of play. But, man, just great halftime adjustments from the perennially great head coach of Fresno City College in Tony Caviglia. Head high snap. And it's a high, winding punt. Flag comes in early on the play, and a catch is made at the 30. Tackle down. It was Amari Taylor just trying to make anything happen.
Yeah, you're going to have unsportsmanlike conduct on somebody after the play, and you're going to have 12 men on the field for DVC. That was the initial flag.
So the play was made by Taylor, number 12. And at this point, though, do you repunt? I mean, you're in a good situation there. You burn some time off the clock. What do you do?
I think it's going to depend on who this personal foul's on.
Yeah, I mean, with so many guys getting personal fouls, you get 2 and you're out, right?
Yeah, and I think that's what the refs are talking about, because he's looking at his notepad, making sure the people who picked him up on either side, it's not their second.
So 6:15 counting down. The Vikings will look to see what's coming back on the other side. And all the officials gather here. So as we have a little bit of time, we can talk about a little bit of strategy. So the Vikings really had only found success early on in the running game. You had Sean Davis coming out for a few. You had Ferrari Miller finding a little bit of success there. But David Piero is the star for the Vikings. I mean, he just carried the load the majority of the time. As a correction on the pronunciation, Teddy Boris was really only looking for him from what it seems up here in the booth.
Yeah, no, and Piero, it was well-deserved. I mean, he was getting open consistently, and, you know, besides that one throw where, you know, the linebacker was able to undercut it and he just didn't get his eyes off of him, he's been open the entire night. So I don't blame the quarterback for looking at him so much because, you know, it was well-deserved.
Yeah, and something to note as well, out of Clovis West High School, Piero is originally one of those guys from down in the Fresno area, so I'm sure there's a little extra oomph to this one for him.
Absolutely. Week 1 against the hometown team, I should say.
Yeah. And on the other side, on a positive note for the number 14 team, I mean, you've got we talked about the backs of DVC being pretty good. Man, every single back has found success here. And I don't think it's necessarily DVC's defense doing a poor job. I think it's more so they just got a really good four-headed monster back there.
Yeah, I think it's kind of goes both ways as well. With the struggles DVC's had on offense, that defense had to be out there a long time. And when you have a stable of backs that Fresno City has and able to keep everybody fresh, and everybody kind of has a little unique running style to them where, you know, Fresno City's been able to keep them on their toes, even though they're still running the ball. The running backs are hitting different holes just because that's their game. And then when they sense that DVC's defense is getting tired, you know, they send in those big bruisers who just run straight down, you know, your throat and look for contact. And that's not fun after you've been out there, you know, 10, 11 plays already.
Yeah, we'll get our live stat situation fixed up for the next home game, but I'd love to see the time of possession.
Yeah, it's been, especially this half, it's been a lot of Rams offense on the football field.
30-13 is our score here at the 6:15-minute mark of the fourth quarter of play. And a second half, I mean, you got one score by the Rams here, but more than anything, they've just been controlling and they've been playing the clock. The clock has been their friend, and they have been on it. So a personal foul on the Vikings will take away the punt, and it seems like another opportunity here to line up in the pistol and work his offenses. Vance with the give. They carry off the right-hand side, and only a gain of a yard on the play as Amarion Gaines-Smith goes forward.
They must have called the personal foul while the play was still going on there, because if it was after, it would still be DVC's ball just back a little further.
And another one of those boneheaded decisions.
Yep. And that's what's going to drive coaching staffs crazy.
Oh, yeah.
You know mistakes are going to happen week one. You don't want to see them, but you can live with the physical mistakes. It's the things that you can control, like your temper, personal fouls, false starts. Guess what? As on offense, you know the snap count. So, you know, those mental mistakes are not how you want to start off week one.
Blitz off the edge, a quick pass to the out-hand side, and a drop ball by the tight end off the edge. That was number 88, the intended receiver for Fresno City College. I don't have an 88 on the roster. So, unnamed player.
In disguise.
Yeah,
in disguise. Yeah. Yeah, and it's unfortunate that DVC's offense hasn't really been able to get kick-started the second half, because you could tell once Cox got hurt for Fresno City, that offense was not nearly as explosive as it was with him on the field.
Vikings showing a heavy pressure look, and it's a play-action fake. Going back to 88, and 88 continues to juggle, but able to carry it this time around for a gain of 11 on 3rd down and 10. So the clock continues to move. Jeffrey Holden on the tackle for the Vikings, the freshman out of Vacaville.
And that's a big friendly body to throw to on a slant.
I mean, I just don't understand how you don't got a guy like that on the roster. He's got to be sitting at least 6'4". I mean, that's a big receiver.
Yeah.
Maybe they intended to shirt him or something. I'm not sure. Offsides on the Vikings possibly. No flag on the field, but instead the errant snap will be dropped down by Yajae Vance, pardon me. And he will be taken down behind the line of scrimmage down to the 46. DVC will take the timeout. Let's take it as well here on DVC Vikings Live. Swing pass out to the flats. And spinning to stay in bounds, a very heads-up play as Anthony Henry makes the tackle. The catch was made by Marquise Cooper. So it'll be 3rd down and 11 here. The Vikings took a timeout last time to stop the clock, but the clock will continue to turn down here. 4:26 remaining. Fresno is very willing to take this one all the way down inside of 5 seconds before they take a snap. Clock counting down. 4:11. Sprints out to his right-hand side as Vance. Vance just swarmed. 4th sack of the day by the Vikings defense. And that'll make it 4th down and, let's call it.
We'll call it long.
Yeah, 4th down and long from the 42-yard line. And the Vikings punt unit will come out once again. Last time around, the Vikings had a personal foul that sent the offense out onto the field to burn another, I believe it was about 2 minutes of clock. But with that, the Vikings will take their last timeout. They trail by 17 here with 4:03 remaining in the 4th quarter play here on the home opener on DVC Vikings Live. Back on the field here, the Vikings trailing by 17 with 4:03 remaining, and the punter out to the field once more. It's Dean Shriver. The tackle is made, and the ball pops loose out to the 40. The Vikings sprinting down to try to down it to save as much time as possible, and the pressure comes by the Vikes. It looks like number 21, Marcellus Chandler, was the man to make the pressure on the play, and the Vikings with some good field positioning there as Hawkins comes back to get on top of the ball at the end of the play.
Yeah, just under 4 minutes left. You need 3 scores. You got to start taking your shots down the field, which hasn't necessarily been the strong suit today. But, you know, with how much time is left remaining, you got to take the chance at this point.
Yeah, you're not going to live with these little Dunkin' dimes now. We go to your playbook instead of mine.
Yep, all verts go.
3 receivers to the near side of the field from the far hash mark. Boris able to take the snap here, stepping up in the pocket, fires away down the far sideline. A jump ball and possibly an interception. No, washed out of bounds before the play. Trying to target, I'm trying to see the number. I believe that's 11 or 10?
15.
15. 15?
He's the far side corner.
Now, who was the intended receiver?
Oh, sorry. I was going defense.
Yeah, sorry.
That was an incredible play by the cornerback.
Yeah. Undercut it, fought all the way through, just couldn't get his feet down. And I believe it's Cade Young, number 16, was the intended receiver on the play. But after all that kerfuffle, same formation for the Vikings on 2nd down and 10. Boris hit and drilled as he throws it near hand side. And a nice adjustment by Cam Hawkins there. He wanted a pass interference call, but I think the defender was playing the ball very well. 25 was the covered corner, and that's Brando Holmes.
Yeah, Holmes did a really good job not getting PI. He was able to flip his head around at the last second and play the ball. Both guys were hand fighting down the entire field. So I don't mind the no call by the ref.
Yeah, and the Vikings with the fortuitous bounce there. It looked like the hit came a little too late as it was a roughing the passer call, and that'll give the Vikings the first down to the 43, or pardon me, to the 38-yard line of the Rams.
That's a generous call, I'll put it, because I thought that hit came easy. I think if anything, it was landing on him might have been the reason.
Yeah, I could see that. You can't land on the quarterback. Crossing route across the middle. And a huge hit on the crossing route as Cam Hawkins has his helmet knocked off, and I think they might call targeting on that one. Did we see a flag come in from the far side official? Yes, we did. You know, it was an incomplete pass at the end of the play, but maybe a potential targeting.
Live, I thought that was a pretty clean hit.
Yeah, I did as well. I think it was just kind of on the whip of the helmet going forward.
Yeah. I thought it was shoulder pad to shoulder pad.
But at this point in the game, I mean, you're going to fight all the way through. You never say never until
Till the fat lady sings.
Yeah, I was going to say till the buzzer, but it doesn't seem like the buzzer has been working. Wait. So no targeting. Like you said, it was a clean hit on the ball.
Yeah,
And it'll be 2nd down and 10. And I do like the officials talking it over, though. I mean, you never want to kick a guy out, especially with that targeting call. Like, it's 3 minutes and 36 seconds left in the fourth. You're going to miss the first half of the next game if you get that targeting.
Yep.
It just hurts. And, I mean,
No, I think
good
that was the
officiating.
right call. Getting together, talk it over, get everybody's viewpoint, and I think that was the right outcome because live it looked clean.
And Boris will come out in the empty set. Motions the receiver across the formation. It'll be 4 to the near side of the field to the wide side. Boris, pressure comes, and he has to swallow it. The sack comes, leading the way. Big number 47. And that is Eli Laufili, the outside linebacker. Vikings need to hurry up to the ball here. Yeah, the offensive line just wasn't able to get enough protection there. Boris had to swallow it, and that's the worst situation. A screen pass to the far-hand side. Bringing it all the way across the formation. Tackled down as he's upended near the original line of scrimmage. The play was caught by Cade Young as he continues to have a pretty good night, if I might say so myself. So it'll be 3rd down and long still. 3rd down and 12 from the 40-yard line. Ferrari lines up in the backfield alongside Boris, and a whistle to stop the play. We can hear the chatter from the Fresno City staff to the right of us, and they said it's a full start. And they are correct. Full start on the Vikings there. The 5th, I believe, penalty of the game. I mean, obviously the score isn't what you want it to be, but I think more than anything, it's the way that this game has been going. It's the type of penalties that Coach Collins just cannot have. I mean, he's talked about this. He's preached accountability. He's preached leadership as leading by example. And, I mean, tonight, the team hasn't held up to his standards. 4th down and long, 4th down and 17. Boris throwing across, and too far behind his intended receiver. Tried to go over to Piero once more. Piero running the post in. He threw the fade.
Yeah, you know, unfortunately that's been his miss on the post the entire night since he's trying to throw line drives in there. He's just not leading the receiver enough. I think it's just something with the timing that you just got to work on at practice. And you either got, if you're trying to fit it in a window, you either got to throw it a lot earlier to be able to make it come right out of his break, or read that safety up top and see if he can get over the top of that and put some air underneath it. But you can't throw line drives late. That's not a recipe for success.
No timeouts left. The only way to stop the clock now is an incomplete pass or the 2-minute timeout. Vance. Another give and plenty of space up the middle. Avoids the defender as he makes his way out to the 30-yard line, the 25-yard line, finds the sideline out to the 10, falls backwards onto his back down to the 7. And the carry by Jordan Colbert.
Taken out by 20, Charles Cox before
What an electric play. And that'll take us to the 2-minute timeout. 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter of play after another explosive run by this Rams offense. And we'll take the timeout as well here on DVC Vikings Live. So I believe if you continue to run a little bit, you can run this clock out, but you might just see a couple different runs up the middle. Snap is off, and they'll throw the ball here as the clock will stop here at 1:57. 88 was the intended receiver on the play. Still Mr. No Name. Yeah, and talking to Coach Caviglia before this game, he was talking about wanting to develop his depth and really show up like how good this team really is top to bottom of the roster, and I think he was able to do so tonight.
Yeah, no, the Rams did a great job rotating their running backs, and all of them stayed fresh and kept running hard.
And they'll run it with the sweep to the left-hand side. It's 32 on the carry once more. He brought it all the way into the red zone, and he's listed as a wide receiver, but Jordan Colbert definitely has that receiver speed. And it's second down now from the 9-yard line as he loses a yard on the play, and the clock counts down inside of 1 minute and 31 seconds. At this point, you love to get it in here, but I think you run it up the middle one more, and you try to build some confidence with your kicker, right?
Yeah, you either do that or just run the clock out. And
I don't think you can run the clock out in this situation.
Where are we at? 109.
Able to get the snap off right at the end of the play, and the run up the gut, rumbling, tumbling, stumbling into the end zone. The play that was set up to bring it into the red zone by Jordan Colbert is capped off by Colbert on the 8-yard rush.
Or you don't worry about it and just score a touchdown.
Your receiver comes in at running back, and, I mean, he's a dual-threat guy as well.
Yeah, so obviously tonight didn't go, you know, the way DVC would have hoped it win in this coaching staff's first game here. What do you think are things that are going to be an emphasis on practice moving forward?
I think accountability is more than anything. That's the one thing that Coach Collins was talking about more than actual, like, play on the field. He just wanted to develop these people as young men and as great human beings. And
absolutely,
I mean, I don't think you can call yourself a leader by example by any means, as the first PAT of the game is finally good for Fresno. They make it 37-13 here with 1:02 remaining. But yeah, talking about it before, he just always, he's very on it about you dotting your T's, or dotting your I's and crossing your T's, and just being a good person outright. And I mean, you're doing dumb things on the field. You're hitting people after the play. Those are just not great plays as a person or as a competitor.
For sure, and that's something that's hard to implement year one. Obviously, that's always the goal.
Yeah. Something to add in as well, real quick.
Go for it.
Came in May, so Coach always talks about how he doesn't want to see this as a handicap, and I don't think he'll ever say it's a handicap, but on the outside looking at it, it's hard to change a culture in such a little amount of time.
Yeah, no, cultures take time to change. That's why, like, you look at Jim Harbaugh, and he's one of the best at setting a culture. It always takes a year or two to bring your guys in and, you know, have people who are coming back who know the standard to – because when you're the coach, you can't coach all 80-plus guys on a roster and hold people accountable. You need those leaders on your team doing individual drills and everything like that to hold the young new guys accountable or the transfers accountable and say, this is the standard of DVC football. This is how we do things. And that's hard to do when you – one, being your first year, and two, only being here since May. I think a lot of the stupid penalties, he's going to lose sleep over tonight.
And he's bringing the entirety of the offense here to talk about it. And at this point, do you just run the play clock out? Or honestly, at this point, I think you use these live reps to try to drill some of these deeper passes. Like, you need to get every single rep possible in this situation.
Yeah, and I think this is a culture moment, too. You know, you want to show your guys that you're going to fight to the last second. So I wouldn't be shocked if they still ran their offense, and it looks like they are, because you're just trying to hopefully get something on film that you go, this is the right way to do it. This is how we need to run these routes, do these things.
And a change at quarterback for the Vikings here is the red shirt from Oregon, Marcus Sanders, comes into the game. You know, hand it off left-hand side, the cutback being dropped after a gain of 5. It was Amani Holiday on the carry. But I do want to see what a guy like Sanders might have in store. He played for Laney College a year ago and got, I believe, 7 games started. Didn't have too much success with some of the struggles that they had on their offensive side, but definitely a talented guy to be able to make that Oregon team and end up redshirting. So the deep route to the outside receiver, and he overthrows Cam Hawkins. Good coverage underneath by, I believe that was Jordan Black.
Marcus Sanders, number 8, now in at quarterback for DVC.
35 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter, as Boris will call an end to his day as one number lower, number 8, Marcus Sanders, comes in.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if on this one you just run it, let the time run out. Don't go into the fourth down with the clock stop, but you do want to see what this quarterback can do too.
Sanders will hand the ball off. Breaks a tackle in the backfield, lowers the shoulder as he gets past the first down marker, and he might be hurt on the play, but a nice run by Amani Holiday, getting 9 yards after the initial contact, shaken up at the end of the play. Vikings will hurry up here with 26 seconds remaining. Spread pistol look for Sanders. Sanders, another handoff. Reverses the side of the field. Sanders doesn't lay the block the way that Boris did that time. And the clock should count down to 0. 37-13, our final score here from Vikings Stadium, as the Vikings drop their home opener to the number 14 team in the 3C2A. The running game of of Fresno City College told the whole entire story. You got some deep shots, and that did open up the defense of the Vikings, but more than anything, I think you got to tip your hat to that running game and that offensive line. They started to eat, and they feasted.
Yeah, no, Fresno City did a good job sticking with that run game, and once Cox went out, they really just doubled down on that run game, and the running backs were able to answer the bell and, get that victory.
Yeah, absolutely, especially with the defense living on that field in the second half for the Vikings. So there are some positive plays, there are some negative plays. Positive, David Piero, man.
Yeah.
He is a beast incarnate.
No, he's going to enjoy his day in the film room because he played really well.
Yeah, even on the plays that he wasn't getting the ball thrown to him, he was still open. I mean, he was living in the open space. And on the other side of the field for the Vikings, the defense, they had their moments where they folded and they weren't able to get the stops, but you get 4 sacks on the day, and, some pretty good situations early on when the game was still an 11-point game. You showed that you had some talented players at the linebacker position. You saw the speed on display for DVC, but it might just be, you got to understand, hey, sometimes you can't jam here. Sometimes you got to bump and run with the coverage. Little changes here as the Vikings, in their first year under Coach Jimmy Collins, fall 37-13. They'll go up to American River College. ARC is a beast of a team, so the Vikings have a huge test on the road and 100-plus degree heat up in the Sacramento, the greater Sacramento area. So we'll see what the Vikings have in store here going into next week, but we'll be back in a couple weeks as the Vikings come home. I don't have a schedule off the top of my head, but I believe the Vikings will be back in a couple weeks for their second home game, and hopefully we see a different result here on DVC Vikings Live. So thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much for fighting through some of the technical difficulties that we were having early on in the broadcast. We'll try to get a re-upload so we get the entirety of the first quarter up and running. But thank you to Kyle for joining me tonight. Thank you to Tannehill Home Team for sponsoring the game today. Thank you to Jasir for running our camera at the top. Shin Yo for running the camera in the second half. You did a terrific job. And thank you so much to Caitlin for coming in here and just fighting through and continuing to just make the stream happen no matter what. We'll get through it, and the second broadcast will have a lot better production. Love you guys so much. This has been a game here